nerds, welcome. This is our spoiler review of Avengers Infinity War. We're going to talk about everything that we saw in that movie. Come join us.
Avengers Infinity War.
10 years in the making. Holy cow. Can you believe? I remember watching Iron Man, the first Iron Man. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Didn't think it was
going to come this far.
That's crazy.
Alright, so let's get right into it. We have a lot to talk about. A lot of things went on. A lot went into this movie. And yeah. First impressions. You've seen it twice.
I've seen it twice. In fact, I just got done watching it this afternoon with a buddy and his wife and my wife. And so my first impression, I was blown away by what the Russo brother could do with all those characters in the same movie.
Okay.
I came out of there, to be honest, I like DC, but I prefer Marvel, and I came out of there giggling. I got the movie that I wanted. I got the movie that I enjoy, entertain, and man, there were some awesome things in there it was just, I mean, if you follow my Instagram and our Instagram, I posted my reaction like the first, it was almost like I got sucker punched and I just needed to breathe. It was just, I was blown away. What about you? What was your first impression?
First impression, I too like this movie a lot, and I was kind of giddy afterwards, and I was like, kind of like blown away, like, holy crap, did that really just happen? That whole movie was just start to finish, just very well put together. There's no other way to put it.
It's only Marvel studio can actually get away with this kind of movie. If you think about it, now the movie.
Can you imagine if DC did this?
It'd be a pretty interesting, pretty cool movie to watch, I think, if they would have followed that format. But check out our podcast. We talked about this.
That's true.
Well, let's talk about some iconic moments. What are some moments, some scenes that stood out to you in this movie?
I think the one that stands out the most is the return of Captain America.
Oh.
So the last we saw of Captain America was at the end of Civil War, when he breaks all his friends out of the floating hockey puck prison. And that's the last you've seen him. You don't know where he goes, and all of a sudden he's there to protect the ones he loves.
That scene, to me, I had goosebumps when you saw when Scarlet Witch was standing there ready to take on those bad guys. I don't know their names. And then you see the train goes by and you see the silhouette of Captain America. I had goosebumps coming out. I was like, oh, sure. Cap is back.
For sure.
What else? What are the scenes that you like in here?
There's a lot.
There's a lot. Let's do three. What's your favorite three?
I would say the Captain America one for sure. The entire fight.
Oh my goch.
Between.
We'll go into that more. Oh my gosh.
But the entire fight between Iron Man, Thanos, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man. I think that whole area was really cool.
Titan. It was on Titan.
On Titan. And then Thor and Rocket Raccoon. I really liked them two together. So, not necessarily scenes that I liked, but arcs.
Just the chemistry of certain characters together that you like. My favorite scene, I think, we'll talk about it. I'm not going to pick that one then, because that was one of my favorite scenes, Captain America. The number one scene that I loved in this movie was when Thor got his axe. And then they pan to the battle.
I want that one.
And all of a sudden, just this boom!
I've never had more respect for Thor than in that.
Oh my gosh, that scene was so epic. I got goosebumps. I have goosebumps right now underneath my sweat. Just talking. It was so iconic, and you got the Avenger theme song in the background, and you see Rocket. What's his name? Rocket on top of Thor's shoulder. I thought that was so awesome. Yeah. So that was one of my, so good. The other one is it might not be like an action thing, but I love Thanos' scenes with Lil Gamora on both. The one when he first met her and explained to her why this universe, you get a glimpse of what Thanos is all about, why he's doing this. It's all about balance within the universe, balance.
Let's delve into that a little bit. So Thanos has to be one of my favorite Marvel villains now. Probably the favorite.
Yeah, he is.
This is why. his motivation is a lot like Vulture's in Spider-Man: Homecoming. He's not doing it because he wants to destroy good and he's evil. He's doing it because there's balance. There's a necessity for
he does murder
things. He does murder. He does do it, but he's doing it with a purpose. And in his mind, that's what makes a good villain to me. In his mind, he thinks he's doing the right thing.
Yeah, Vulture, I think it's a little different because Vulture was more grounded and he didn't kill people. And if you really think about it, he only accidentally killed one of his henchmen. Let's talk about characters. What are some of your favorite characters in this? You just mentioned Thanos. Who else that shine in this movie?
I would say Thor had a really good arc in this whole story. I didn't particularly like Ragnarok. I liked Dark World, and the first one was okay.
First one was the greatest one.
But that being said, like you could just take away all those movies, and I would love Thor just based on this. This take on him. I think it was good that they did away with the jokey Thor and lighthearted because he had a purpose.
Yeah, he still got some jokey stuff in there, especially the scene with him and Chris Pratt.
Oh yeah, that was
hilarious. Oh man, my favorite character is actually one of my favorites. It's actually Thor as well.
Okay.
When I was watching this movie, I realized how connected he is to every Marvel universe. If you really think about it, he's the key to connecting every realm to this entire Marvel universe, and so I thought he shined. There was jokey moments. There was that emotion moment with him and Rocket.
It was very touching.
I thought it was very touchy, and you understand why he's doing what he's doing. That one scene when he comes down, throws the axe, and you run towards all that. What are those creatures? I don't know what it was. And he said, "Bring me Thanos." I thought it was pretty cool, and so one of my other favorite character in this is Thanos. I think to me this movie is his movie.
For sure.
It's all about he's getting his stone, all about his sacrifice. Man, Josh Brolin is such a good actor. Even though he's motion capturing, but he still has to do the voice, the motion stuff. But the scene that broke my heart. Spoiler alert again, when he had to sacrifice Gamora. That death was surprising to me.
Really?
Until he got to the soul to that place, I was like, oh, a soul for a soul. Because I remember reading it in a comic somewhere that you had to sacrifice somebody you love. And I was like, oh, I turned to my wife and I said,
yeah.
So that scene, and you've seen Thanos' vulnerability in that scene when he loves Gamora. He really does love her, even though he treats her, I don't know how he treats her, but pretty bad according to her. But he actually cares for him. And he's such a complex and complicated character that it just works in this movie. And he to me, out of all, he shined the most. This was his movie.
Yeah.
And so
I really like the way, this is more for story than character for anything. I really like the way that he used each stone in different fights.
Oh yeah.
To get the Vision Stone, he turned back time. To change reality stones, so on.
That's
and so
pretty
forth.
cool.
I thought that was really cool to let the audience know what these stones really can do, because I don't feel like we've really had a chance to see that. And
true. Let's talk about. What else we talk about? There's so many things. There's a lot.
Also, another one of my favorite characters is Captain America.
Oh,
I love Captain America. He's probably one of my favorite. And my wife, who despised Captain America before this, she was Team Iron Man all the way. I don't know. She's crazy. Just kidding. Love you.
She
hate America? Anyway, she came out loving him. Mostly because of the beard and the hair. That's what I'm going for.
So I love Cap as well, but I feel like he was underused in this movie. But I feel like they're setting him up to have a bigger role. I mean, he had a big role, but for some reason he didn't shine to me. He wasn't the MVP in this film. I thought it was Thor.
I think Thor and a little bit of Iron Man. I feel that was one of my only concerns of this movie. I feel like some of the characters had to take a back seat.
They have to.
And it was just because they had to.
Yeah.
But it was kind of still a bummer for me, because I was like, there would be times during a scene I'd be like, wait, I wanna go back to that arc. I wanna go back to that. I wanna see what's happening on Titan. I wanna go see what's happening over there.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a relief when all of them started just coming together. That way I could just focus on one plot line.
Another one that I like, and to me this is the underrated couple, is Vision and Scarlet Witch. I thought the emotion that both actor and actress brought out of the character works for me. I mean, she had to kill him. Elizabeth Olsen probably did one of her best acting in this movie.
Yeah. Did you notice they did away with the Sokovian accent?
Yeah, no more accent. I told my wife, I was like, we were talking, I was like, did you notice she didn't have an accent? She goes, what? We went and watched the second time. He goes, oh wow, it's all gone. So I like, to me they're underrated for what they are, because they work well together. The chemistry was there, and I felt that emotion when she had to kill her, just like when Thanos had to kill Gamora. It was there. So
we made a few predictions. I don't think any of them worked.
Well,
maybe the box office.
Loki did
die.
He died. I feel bad. I kind of liked him. He went out as a hero in my eyes right now.
Yeah,
so,
I feel like they were just kind of wiping the slate clean to make room for what's there. There's already a lot.
Let's talk about the action. What do you think of the action of this movie?
There was one scene in particular when the little dog monster things were fighting the Wakandans that I was just like, it's too close. Like, take a step back. There was 4 or 5 scenes where I was like,
the camera shots.
I don't know what's happening.
But I think that's what
this is a waste of a movie for me to not be understanding what's going on.
Okay.
And maybe
let's go.
The artistic side of me wants to say, just to show that there's a lot of chaos.
I think that's what it was.
The moviegoer in me wants to say, what the hell is going on?
I understand the camera angle and the shots and so they wanted us to experience the chaos that comes with fighting as an adventure, I guess, in that sense. Well, let's talk about the bad. Let's get the bad out of the way, because no movie is perfect, and we all know this. And so, what are some things that didn't work for you in this movie, Paul?
Like I said, I kind of mentioned both of these before, but some of the lines or some of the story arcs just went on for too long before they switched to another.
Give me an example.
So there's a scene where Rocket and Thor are talking, and they're just talking and talking and talking, and I kind of got bored. I was like, hey, I want to see what's going on Titan. And then they would switch over to Titan, and
the scene that Thor was when they were on the ship before they got to that place.
Yeah, before they got to that place.
That just shows you the emotion of Thor.
Yeah.
You have no heart.
Me? Nope.
Just kidding. Anything else that didn't work for you?
Some of the characters took a back seat.
They had to.
They had to. Okay. And I didn't like how, everything that I have seen wrong with this movie, there's a reason.
There's a reason why.
So I guess it's not fair for me to say I wanted to see Hawkeye, I wanted to see Ant-Man.
Well, they're coming in the next one. For me, there were a couple things that I didn't like. Well, first of all, let me ask this. So Doctor Strange can go around anywhere in the universe and any realm by doing this. And there's a scene in there when he asks Tony, "Are you gonna take us back to Earth?" Why is he asking Tony Stark? Why didn't he just go back to Earth himself?
That's a good question.
Why did he do his thing? They didn't explain. I don't know. I'm not a comic book nerd, and I don't know if he certain time that he couldn't do it or he couldn't do it out in the space. But I don't know. Anyways, that's just my little minor thing. My big complaint about this movie. Don't get me wrong, I love this movie, and I think it's a great movie. But it is what I call a beautiful chaos. Just because there's so many different characters.
It's like triple stuffed Oreos. Good. But there's too much.
It's too much. But but the whole movie we're going everywhere, and it is a fast pace. Now this movie is 2 hours
and 40 minutes.
But it doesn't feel like it because the pace is moving. Okay. So I feel like certain stories work and certain stories didn't connect, and it feels out of place. But in the end, this is how this movie has to be this way. Because there's so many different characters, so many different things going on that they had to jump place and place. So I thought, I consider this as a beautiful chaos, which it works. And for the Russo brothers to be able to pull this off, I was very impressed by this movie. Not a lot of people are, there's certain people out there that I've read already that they feel like it's too much character, it's clumsy, it's, certain things are out of place. It's like, I don't think so, because how else would you make a movie with how many characters in the movie and give them all FaceTime and make this huge event into a 2 hours and 30 minutes movie?
Yeah, this movie definitely isn't a just jump on in. Hey, I've never seen an Avengers movie before.
And
what I wanted to mention before is I was very surprised at where the movie ended because I thought it was just gonna keep going. It didn't feel long.
I loved the way it ended.
I loved it too, but it was just like, holy crap!
That's the sucker punch.
I love. I'm sorry, like you mentioned, I have no heart, and this is gonna prove it further. I love that the bad guy won.
I did too.
I love it because I'm tired of these movies being like, oh, the good guy's gonna win.
Yes.
Somehow, blah blah blah.
I love,
and it caught me off guard because I thought because Marvel has a formula, and that's the formula of the good guy winning at the end. This didn't, and I just felt like, holy. I don't feel good.
I don't think it was a surprise for me, just because I knew that certain way this Thanos will have to do the snap, and I knew that they're gonna incorporate that in the movie, and it had to come. It had to do it. And so,
I didn't think it was gonna be that gnarly.
I love the fact that he did win. I love the fact that Thanos succeeded what he was seek out to do, and that scene when he saw little Gamora again, and that was eerie to me. I was like, it almost like he had like a regretful face, like did I do this right? And so it was. But anyways,
yeah.
Anything else that you didn't like about this movie?
Not really.
One more thing, Drax is no longer the Destroyer. He is a buffoon.
I told you that. In Guardians
I told you that. I agree with you because I had the same feeling. He is no longer. He's the buffoon Drax. He's no longer. But he was so funny in this movie. He was funny to me.
Sure.
It worked, and so that's all that I got. I really don't have anything else that was bad about this movie.
Yeah,
even though my bad.
We could talk about the good all day.
Yeah, because
maybe we'll do a podcast. It's just
we
just
are
to nerd out.
We're gonna do a podcast going more in depth of this movie. And
this reviews is about as long as podcast.
Oh yeah, it is. Let's end it. Let's give this a rating. There's so much more. Tune into our podcast. We'll talk to you more in depth about it. We might even have a special guest with us to do this one. But what do you give this movie?
I give it a opening night rating.
Oh,
the highest one.
The highest one. I agree. I also give this opening night at the highest one in IMAX, sitting right in the middle, smack dab, right in the middle of the screen.
It's very good. Go see it. It's worth whatever it is.
Makes you at the edge of your seat. It never stops, and so we completely recommend this movie.
It's got a lot of heart too. It's not just all action. There's a lot of emotion and heart. You care about these characters you've seen over the last 10 years.
I do, yeah. Anyways, subscribe to us, please. Follow us, our podcast, our YouTube, Instagrams. We have them, Movie Nerds Alert. Let us know what you think of our channels, our podcast, and everything. Comment below. Let us know what you think of this movie. Tell us what's some of the things that you like and you don't like.
And if you watched this far, thanks.
Yeah, seriously. Later.